Hey everybody, welcome back. We have an interesting one for you here. It's been a few weeks since we did the normal 9-ball league commentary. So I'm playing against John, and it's the first time playing with John, but not the first time against his team. And I came out of the gate just wanting to play more confident, play more aggressive. I've really just been working on that sort of attitude in my game, along with the tempo of things and trusting my game. So all that kind of mental stuff that I've talked about in other videos. And as you guys know, with these handicap races, you really can't relax too much, right? You can't really give anything away. And inevitably some silly stuff's going to happen. It's 9-ball. Pool in general. But yeah, we really want to try to capitalize on any openings. We've also got the new scorecard up here, which is nice. So I'm not going to have to keep score while I'm doing the commentary, which we know from previous videos is not infallible. So pretty strong opening here. And a good open layout. As you can see, the 4 to the 5 is really the key positional shot. So if we can get good on that 5 ball, we're in pretty good shape here. Good line on the 3, we can kind of punch up, kind of like a punch draw, cheat the pocket a little bit to come back out for the 4. Yeah, good draw stroke there. And so now we've got a good line on the 4 to where we can come straight back with draw. You guys know I love that shot. You could certainly roll through this, bring a couple rails into play, but it's nice to have options. And this is certainly a good opening rack just to try to settle in, get a couple points on the board. And with this new streaming software, if you didn't catch this one live, I am having to go back between racks and then square up the score with the scorekeepers on the teams and then update my own score as I go, which luckily I found was not too distracting. Back to the game though, so that was a good draw stroke and my speed was pretty good. Got unlucky to get straight on this. Some of you pointed out in the comments, which I really like. You can consider kind of going rail first here. You can sort of roll through. And I talked to somebody about, I just had this plan in mind. I had this certain type of run out in mind. And I got just tunnel vision. I was like, the 6 ball's got to go on the side. But you could, instead of doing this, which is, has a chance of not working out, you can play shape into this window here and play the 6 nice and easy down into the bottom left-hand corner. So I committed to the side pocket. There's nothing inherently wrong with this, really, but a little funny queuing off the rail. Just let up on it slightly, which sucks. But all in all, not a bad run for that opening rack. It would have been really nice to start off with a break and run. That'll definitely settle you down, right? So we let John to the table. We get our first look at him here. And so John is a skill level 6 in 9-ball. So he's got to go to 46, as you see up in the top left. I have to go to 65. So he made a good shot. That 6 ball can be a little touchy because it's sort of a blind shot. You're not really sighting the pocket perfectly along the line of your stroke. Played that one well too. I know a lot of players might try to hold it here. I've certainly tried to hold that ball, but it's good to hit that with authority, let the stroke out a little bit. So good finish there. John picks up a couple points from that first rack. He's breaking. A little bit of choppiness on this stream. It really showed up on the following league match for those of you who saw that one live. And if I get a chance, I'll do a commentary on that too. But the issue was going between just regular network on my phone and the Wi-Fi. And this week with John, I went with regular, no, the other way around. I went with Wi-Fi and it was reliable. And then the most recent week, it was regular network on my phone and that was not as reliable, just based on the signal. So he's got a great look at the 1 ball here, and making a ball in the breaks. Never guaranteed when it's opponent racks. I do my best to give a good rack, right? Like I want it to be a fair and level game. This one's a little tricky. I think he judged it and thought the 2 ball would go. It is a little hard to tell with scorekeeper guys, glasses in the way. It might have gone super thin into the pocket, but I think he tricked himself and just went too thick into it, played it into the 8-ball. But he had kind of a tricky situation with the 4 anyway. If he had gotten off that 2-ball, it would have been tough to run out. At this point, I just have to consider a safety. There's not a great offensive option. So the play is to push the 2 behind the 8. And whenever you have a line of balls like this, just a wall, you get the ball behind it. You either play the cue ball position somewhere or you play the object ball position somewhere. And in this case, I was just playing object ball. I just wanted to put the 2-ball down on the other side of those. Not as worried about the cue ball. Oftentimes in a safety, if you try to account for both, you end up getting neither. Unless you're really dialed in with your safeties, you're better off just focusing on one or the other. So he'll be using this kind of kicking system here. We're going to see a bit of this in this match. John's able to do this on his own, and so he's basically doing distance from the 2-ball to the rail, and then that same distance out, and then the line of the cue ball to that spot is where he kicks into the rail. So he should be going like here. Yeah, close one. He turns and he's like, I'm not sure. The scorecard's kind of in the way of his face, but he was like, I don't know if that was a good hit. And I was like, yeah, I didn't watch it closely. I'll leave it up to you. And he thinks about it and he's like, I think it's ball in hand. As I said, I wasn't able to judge it from where I was standing, so I said it was up to you. Yeah, he gives up ball in hand on that one. Good on him. That's the way to do it. I mean, ideally you have somebody watch that shot, but good etiquette to call it on yourself if you're unsure. I've learned that lesson. So we got to float down from the 2. 4 goes in the side, which is fine, or you can go under the 3, play the 3 here, and float up above the 4 center table position, as is so often the case, right? If your position ever feels kind of uncertain, you probably want to be close to the center of the table if it's not pinpoint somewhere. It'd be a good way to get grounded if there's any question. Got pretty straight on this 3-ball, so we can roll forward, play the 4 in the bottom left corner. Still goes in the side, but these side pockets can be a little funky. You don't want to rely on the playing into the jaws because they don't always cooperate. Looks like I'm going to trust it though. This match was a few weeks ago now. This was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. I don't remember all the fine details. I certainly remember big picture what this one felt like, and you'll see what I mean. If you didn't see this live, you'll certainly see what I mean by the time we get down to the crunch. So good shot there. Played the 4-ball nice and clean. Sort of a back cut on the 6, but this one's not too tricky. What I was looking at there is because the cue ball is going into the 8, where does the 8 go? I don't want to leave it kind of clustered up on the 9. Push it out just enough so that it's playable. Bounce it out almost the same amount as it was before. And here I'm looking at just a sort of thin slice the 7. You can use a little bit of outside here to roll yourself towards the 8. Yeah, I did. Could have gotten a bit more out of that. It would have been nice to be pretty much straight on the 8 so that you could draw back and get up above the 9. Now I've got some work to do, some positional work to do to get back above the 9. So going back and forth, these can be a little tough to judge. Clock system can be helpful here. If you're not familiar with that, I do recommend looking it up. It's kind of yeah, so I was trying to go back and forth, underplayed that one pretty severely. The clock system is sort of a situational thing. I guess most techniques are situational in this game, but I haven't done a ton of practicing with it. It can be really useful. It's certainly a good warm-up exercise, if nothing else, just to get a feel for the table and how the rails are playing and how the speed feels. The bank is certainly on here. I think looking at it today, I would certainly play the bank and aim to miss high, if anything. I went for the cut and I just overcut it big time. So just totally missed that one. I sort of threw myself at it too. I didn't do my normal stay down and stroke all the way through it. So maybe kind of sharked myself a little bit with a silly leave from the 8. There I am updating the score. Oh, he dogged that one. I thought he made that ball. I forgot that happened. And no gimme, but you guys know I like these long shots like this. This one's obviously not straight in. You got a little bit of a cut, but lets me back on the table, and you got to capitalize. Pop this one in. Yeah, good finish there. 2 more points for the 9 ball. So we're up 14-6. The break's working out okay. We're losing our cue ball a little bit. And again, a guy in the blue shirt, hat, glasses, and everything, he's keeping score for the opponent's team. So he's sitting right here under my camera. He's got his iPad set up and everything. That's why he's sitting right there. Yeah, this spot, a lot of the tables at this location feel like high traffic areas. But you'll see later in this video that this one in particular, a lot going on. So good opening shot there. I don't think I needed that much pace. It would have been nice to lay up the 2 balls sort of in here. Drifted out a bit far, but good opening shot on the 1. Option to go safe is on. You know, send the 2 into this rail down here, send the cue ball away. But I'm deciding to stay aggressive here. There's nothing wrong with this, really. If you hit the 2 really well, full into the 8, you're pretty likely to get shape. Yeah, so overcut the 8. Probably the play would have been to go safe. Just make sure I'm keeping the momentum in my favor. And John's got a tough decision here. He can certainly go safe. Some players would try to go behind the 3, which can be sort of touchy. You could thin the 2, leave the 2 ball on the 3, send the cue ball back around down table. Not sure what that measurement was, really. Maybe he's eyeing a bank. Going safe. Oh, he might have been trying to cut that. I'm not really sure. He might have been trying to back cut that. This is good for us. Like to have ball in hand early game here, or anytime. So 2 to the 3 is key. The 3, as long as you get on the 3 or on the 4. 4 to the 5 is not a gimme. So there's definitely some work to do here. You can consider going 1 rail into the 2 to bounce back down. There's a pretty decent sized window here. Draw straight back. I like these. 6 could be a blocker. You could sight that, use that as sort of a target in your mind, and just say, I want to play into the 6, because playing into the 3 from here should work. It's a little risky because you get on the wrong side of the 6, you'll hook yourself. Don't do it. All right, we're okay. So sometimes I like to do that because that 6 as a target, it kind of, yeah, it gives your mind an anchor. So it's a pretty nice thing to have, just a target in your mind. 3 is thin, but you can spin off this guy and come around 3 rails for the 4. I like this one because it's not a pace shot, really. You're letting your stroke out, but it's just with sort of smooth spin, edge to edge. Yeah, good amount of spin to come around. And you can see, even from here, you had plenty of room. You can let that out even more. But we're okay from here. So some players will come into the rail and spin around kind of this way. It's tough to get into the right line. Because most of, like this side is blocked by the 6. So all of this is no-go. So what I look at is sort of punch draw low outside, come in and back around. And you do have to punch this one. You'd be hard pressed to overplay it. It's really easy to underplay this one. So you trust the path of the cue ball here. Pop this in. Lifted my head a little bit. Underplayed it still. But we're okay. I like that one because there is a payoff. If you trust it, you're going to get into a place where you can play this 5. It'd be a good one to set up. If you want to practice that, put a ball on the rail up at the corner like that, and then basically put your target ball on the spot on the other side of the table, and just practice how to get down to it. That comes up all the time. Try it with that punch back and forth, and then try to roll through it too with sort of running side. So that's well played. Overplayed that one a little bit. Sometimes that happens, right? I mean, you underplay one and then you sort of overcompensate. But we're in line. I like how this one feels too. You can just use low outside. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff behind me. So stand up, reset, go through your pre-shot routine. Look at the back of the ball. There's our good habits coming into play. We're going to make this one, watch. Low outside, nice and smooth all the way through the ball, and then it pulls you back over for the 8. Pop. Pretty good. You don't need to get too greedy on that one. Because you could try to really spin it or draw the hell out of it. Don't need to. The 8's going to take you towards the 9. You can get greedy with this one, though. You can cut the 8 into the rail. I think that's what I do. Kind of punch off. Yeah. Yeah, I ended up cutting the 8 into this side, the right side of the pocket, so that the cue ball hit the rail and came straight out. You could do the opposite, too. Like cut it into this rail. It's these valley tables, you know. You can mess around with that. So good rack there, good points. I'm still getting my break dialed in. It's been looking a lot better, though. I played in a tournament last night, and the break was really working for me. This is something about this format, though, guys. This normal 9-ball thing, I know I've talked about it before, but not being able to push, not being able to use jump cues. You get punished on the break sometimes like this, and it can really throw off your rhythm. So luckily, in this case, we've got a hit on the 1. What I look at here is the 1 makeable? And I use my system for measuring. So the same system that he was using before. Distance from your hit point to the rail. Your contact point on the object ball to the rail. And then from that point on the rail out, away from the rail. And from there to the cue ball. I know I got to spin this in too. I'm guaranteed by coming into the rail with spin that I'm going to get a hit with a good chance to make it. Back in the 9-ball for fun. Nope. Would have been a nice couple points off a good rail first. So a little funky here on the 2-ball. It's a problem with that 1 ball. Okay, you make a nice shot, but no positional advantage really. There's a really big window for getting a look at the 2, but no good options for true shape on the 2-ball after that. So we just level out and punch this in, right? We're just going to make this one. Yeah, just fire it in. Oh, no, we overcooked it just a little bit. I got excited. That would have been sick. Get like perfect shape on the 3. Takes you right to the 4. Could have been out. So we're on the wrong side. We went a little too far. 5 interposes. We do have an edge on the 3. And so I'm staying aggressive. It looks like I'm going to try to bank this. Not a terrible decision, but again, you want to think about potentially overplaying the bank. A lot of pace. Oh, it's going in. Whoa. We'll take a roll. Didn't need to be that weird on the 3, but we had a big shot to make on the 2. So I take a minute here because I got to settle. Every once in a while I have that guilt about a slop shot, you know? I don't deserve that point, or I didn't really make that ball. I shouldn't still be at the table. I don't know. My brain will get weird with that stuff sometimes, so it takes me a minute to settle back down. But good settle there. Good way to reassess. Use the second rail to open it up. That's good. We're all but straight in on this 5 ball. At this point, I gotta pause the video. At this point, I specifically remember this moment. A particular person's voice in the room cut through everything. The person who had come up, and I think I cut it out of the video here for commentary, their voice cut through all the other noise in the room because I had just talked to them, and they were talking about me and how I was playing. And as I was getting down on this 5 ball, my mind just could not focus on the game, and it was really hung up on what this person was saying and just their voice in particular. So it's like, okay, I gotta just digest that. I gotta just let that back in. We're gonna ease up on this 5 ball, get back down on it. Straight in shot. We don't need to be taking these for granted, right? Like, just make this happen. And from the outside, it looks like I do everything right. Watch. Yeah, I get up. It looks like from the video, if you were just watching the video and not my explanation, you would think it was the girls on the other table. It wasn't. It was the person I was hearing. And I miss a straight in shot because because it was still in my mind. I just could not focus on operating, performing this just simple physical action that I know how to do, that I can do 100 times out of 100, but for whatever reason, that specific thing got into my mind. And man, he does not need to be at the table right now. Could be out, but we're not. So he plays a simple safe, which is kind of a bump into the rail, which is fine. I think it's tough when there's not much left on the table. It's tough to get safe. So he's just going to try to make me work for it, basically. You don't have a ton of options here. You're going thin off the 5 either way. So I look at trying to send him down table below the 7 ball, which is really hard to control. And there's, a pretty good chance you're going to overplay that, sell out the 5. Going the other way, you're still going thin off the 5, and what are you trying to do? Split it? You have to put a bunch of pace on the cue ball. I might need to look at this some more and think about other options. If you guys have ideas for me in this specific situation, please let me know. Oh, I decided to come away from the 7 and use the 8, but overplayed it. I might have been worried about going down here because these tables can roll funny. So I decided to come back behind the 8. Honestly, the speed and the little bit of draw was good. My line was really good, but speed just kind of overplayed it a little bit. I don't think those guys behind us were playing a match. I think they were just kind of shooting around. Same on the table on the left, by the way. They're just newer players just kind of playing around. Good shot, John. He's got to clutch up here and get some points on the board because I'm running away with it. Gonna pinch this back, get right on the 8. Stop shot works. A little bit of a back cut on the 8 ball, but you naturally float towards the 9. All right, here's a couple points for John. Those points hurt with this handicap. Feel those. Okay. 2-9's a little funny. He's got to look at the 1 Not a great offensive option. Some players would certainly just fire at this cross-side bank. Not really a positional advantage to that. You're going to get a look at the 2 if the 1 cooperates, but it's kind of tough. Getting safe can be touchy here too. You come thick off the 1 and send the cue ball down table. This is kind of a wall, right? These guys. You like come off the 1 this way. Or leave the cue ball down here. Bank the 1 cross corner and leave the cue ball up table. That might be where he's going. I don't mind that. Oh, he tried to make it. I think that's what happened there. I think he was trying to make it in the side. Sort of threw his arm at it, though. A weird spot. Cross-side bank's still on. But it's not a natural line. It's not perfectly lined up. So I think we look to go safe, right? We're just going to come off the 1. Low outside, try to roll under the 2-9. Yeah, bridging over those. That'll look okay. Oh, not enough of the 1 ball. Yeah. We didn't sell out anything easy, but we just came a little bit too thin into the 1 ball that time. Yeah, he's got to earn it here. He's got a shot on the 1, and the cue ball can come back around. Oh, just put it wherever you want. I do think technically you're supposed to move it back. I think you have to move it back. We might have agreed to leave it. He just left it. He looked at me. I must have told him to leave it or something. Oh, we made it. Threw his arm at that one too. I might have scratched. Thank you, 6 ball. So good shot on the 1. And here's the thing. You're naturally coming around 2 rails. It's not taking you to the right side of that 2-9 situation. Try to get safe. Tough to hold this ball. Bad hit for sure. All right, 9 gets spotted. It's a good opportunity. So I've talked about these. The 2 ball's got plenty of pockets, right? Maybe not that many. So, you know, it goes in the side. I can't tell if it goes in this corner or not. Nonetheless, some people might be tempted to make it in the corner because corner pocket shots tend to feel easier. I like putting it back here because you can roll through. Pick your spot on the rail where you want to hit, and you know that it's going to bounce off that rail into your position window. And you have your target in your sight line. Nice one. That's the way to play that, guys. You don't want to be on the back side of that 2 ball and trying to, I don't know, draw into your position window. Put your target in front of you whenever possible, especially if you've got ball in hand in a situation like that where it works out. So we're looking okay here. 6 to the 7 might be a little weird. Decided to get on the back side of the 6, which is fine. We should have a little bit of an angle on the 6. Hold that. So got funny on the 6. Cutting the 6 into this side of the pocket and trying to draw back down and out is touchy. I remember this shot. So I try to come pretty full into the 6, basically shooting the 6 into the rail in the hopes that I can draw straight back. You'll see the action on the cue ball. Greedy. So just really played the 6 into the rail. I'm going to get punished for it too. Watch. It's got the cut on the 6. Shape on the 7's tough, but yeah, so I just got greedy on that one. I tried to get really cute on the 7. Even just a little bit, right? Like just a little bit out from the rail. I still, if I would have come into here, like anywhere in there, would have been completely fine. But no, I needed to shoot a beautiful long draw stroke and give myself enough room to operate on the 7. And this is what happens. You can't get away with that stuff on a diamond table, that's for sure. So that 6 ball's well played. He wants to keep himself down here for the 7. 7 definitely still cuts. Go rail first with some right spins, kind of inside spin. Looks like he's queuing low outside. Might just be the... Oh no, he went safe or something. Oh, I remember that. Somebody, Joe commented that John walked away from the table after he shot that and he thought it was going to be a 2-way. And I'm not really sure how. I thought about that. Maybe he thought the 7 had a chance of going into rails or something. But it's a good opportunity for us. This is just capitalize, right? Been playing well so far, really, with the exception of the sort of silly 6 ball thing. Got a little... I didn't line up well, I think, the first time. And I knew that I wanted to just kind of drift in. It's that punch follow. Put this in with confidence there. Nice one. Yeah, we're looking pretty good, guys. Good fundamentals, good pre-shot. Consistent. I think the only thing is that... So 5 ball, that's right. Not just the 6 ball that I missed, but that straight in 5 ball. I don't know. We're not machines, right? Like, silly stuff happens. Here's the thing I mentioned. You know, hit a break shot. You had a nice out. Can't really maintain your momentum. Still working on that 1 rail kick system. And by this point, I had practiced it. I had used it in multiple matches. And I've been getting good results with it, but I wasn't quite hitting center ball. In this tournament last night, when I was getting hooked, I was like center ball every time. I'm almost to the point where I trust the system enough that I'm going to start to think about where on the ball I want to hit. This one seems like the side pocket interposed a little bit, that the side pocket was the perfect target for this kick. So I had to try to compensate for that, play it a little deeper into the rail and tighten it up with speed. Might have been better, I don't remember now, if I had the upper rail. I could have opened it up by going slower or using spin. Tough either way. Tough layout. So yeah, that's the thing. You get a little momentum, you're capitalizing, you're getting some points on the board, and then before you know it, you're just randomly giving up ball in hand after the break. A pretty open layout here too, guys, right? I mean, it just gets from the 2 to the 3, and then you're kind of out. This is the right way to play this 1 ball. Just roll forward. Give him a little angle to work with. That is a little angle, but he should still be okay. You can just punch off this. You trust just to get to the center of the table, get down below that 3 ball. Some people might try to hold it for the side. No, that's what you got to do. Shot, John. Little back cut on the 3. I'm gonna spin off this guy to hold it. Okay, a little help from the 7. Looking at that 3 ball, I felt like it was possible to come off it thick enough that you could actually hold it without messing with the 7 ball, but yeah, you got a friendly little nudge. So probably come back and forth, play the 6 ball on the side. That's what a lot of players would do. He wants it in the corner. Or he ended up with it in the corner. I don't know if that was the intention or not. Looked like he was going on the side, didn't it? Either way, lots of room for this 6 ball to go. So yeah, you just draw off this guy. Down for the 7. Looking good here. Oh, yep, he went over on the other side. That's fine. Yeah, either way with that 7 ball, you can go short side or long side, and it's going to work out for you. Gonna come with another one here, though. This position's not guaranteed. It's got to do a little work to get over there. Gonna dive into this a little bit with follow. come out and around. Got to stroke through. Yeah, there you go. Little spin to help out. Good speed. Nice shot, John. About to run this table on me after I broke and got hooked. There's somebody saw he was at the table and stepped away. Nice. Oh, he's settling in now. Oh boy. Tried to miss that one. Yeah, just like that. What was that, like 9 points or something? He's halfway. So I break and don't have a shot. And he gets ball in hand and runs the table. Here's a funny one too. So he makes a couple balls. He's got to look at the one, but nothing offensive. Made 2 on the break, it looks like. Yeah. I'll have to try to get safe here. Go thin off the right side of the one. Back around. It's tough. Side pockets in play. Kind of risky options. He doesn't like it. I don't blame him. I don't like it either. Let me push. He decided to slam it. Maybe he was trying to make it. Maybe he thought it would go cross corner. Now I'm hooked. Don't have a look at the one ball. It's like slumped bodied language. Yeah, it sucks. Whatever. You gotta hit the one ball. You know how to play the game. Yeah, go look at the backside. It doesn't really go anywhere. That's the problem. Even if you make a good hit on this, you're just gonna end up slamming it myself. So we use the system. Like I said, this is still before I really had this dialed in. So I think most of the night just slightly off, whether it was my speed or my aim with the point on the rail. Oh! Looks like it went through it. Come on. All right. The 1, 2, and the 4 are right next to each other, so as long as you pick a good pattern with those, it's really just about getting from the 4 to the 5. He's going to run this out. And he got the 2 balls on the break, so that's another 10. You know, he's going to be, what, 33? If he cleans this up. Hurts. It's hurtful. It's a good shot. You could get on the other side of the 2 ball that way from the 1 ball, but I like this. There's a lot of room back there. Short side on this 2 ball to play it in the side. As long as he's above it a little bit, he can get on the 4. Yeah, I like what he's doing. He's definitely settling in. Picking a good pattern, committing to his plan. Good habits coming through here. Ooh, got a bit out of that. On the rail, on the point. This one might just be a kind of stop shot, take your medicine, cut in the 5 type thing. It looks like he's pretty straight on this. Roll forward a little bit, maybe, because you don't want to have to elevate. Good habits. He's going to look at the 5. Yeah, he can roll through this 4 and just kind of bear down on the 5. Positional advantage from the 5 is pretty high. Oh, he powered it. Okay. Short side on the 5. Some people go safe from here. I say you attack. I think you just go for this 5 ball. Send the cue ball down and back. Good chance of getting on the 6. Yeah, he's going after it. You got to press your advantage here, right? Nice touch. And he held it. It's a good shot. A little funny on the 6. You can kind of punch draw across table, where you can run through this. Rolling through it might feel a little safer. Yeah, I think that's the play. It's looking good. Good habits. Settle down after that 6. Take a look at where you want to be on the 9. Look at the backside of the 8. No, he doesn't need to look. He knows how to do this. Long bridge. He's feeling it. A little snatchy, but he got away with it. This is 2 in a row. He puts this 9 ball down. It's 2 racks in a row where I gave up ball in hand and he ran the table. After making a couple balls in the break, but still. That's 20 points. That's a 20-point swing. Oh. He didn't deserve that. Okay. Pressure's on, man. He needs 13, and I need way more than that. I'm just beyond halfway. He lost his cue ball a little bit on the break. So the balls he made on the break are dead. Just 1 ball, actually. So shape from the 1 to the 2 is not super tricky here, but the 4 ball's in a bad spot. The 4-6 doesn't do anything. So what I start to look at is play the billiard off the 4. You want to be out a little bit. Bring it up. Easy on yourself. Have this naturally take you towards the 2. Got lots of room here. But at this point, I'm probably feeling slightly demoralized because I had 2 racks swing away from me that there really wasn't much I can do. Now, an argument could certainly be made for, I mean, there was nothing you could do, so why are you upset? Like, why would you be hard on yourself about that? If you make that argument, it shows that you don't really know much about me. Because I love being hard on myself for silly reasons. So, there you go. It doesn't have to make sense to be true. Yeah, I come back over again to look at this 4-6, and it just doesn't do anything here. Getting safe is tough because you have to come into this 4 pretty full. Yeah, it's just, we're just going to go for the 9. But 9's on the rail. Played the 4 ball well and scratch because, sure. Yeah, so we had a nice little 2 ball run and give up ball in hand again. And some people, without the kind of league mindset, or certainly if you're playing 9 ball straight up, you might just try to fire the 4-6-9 to win the game, which would get you 2 points in this league. But in this format, you want to go for points, which I think is a good habit overall, just to practice running out, right? More patterns instead of just going for the cheese every time whenever it presents itself. But in this case, he can only go 4-5-9, basically. But he's still got the lion's share of the points from this rack. Let's roll through this guy. Nothing can go wrong now. It'd be hard to get bad on this 6 ball. It'd be hard to miss this 9 ball. That works. There you go. He's at 37 out of 46. 9's tracking. Insult to injury? Nope. A dry break. An opportunity to get some points. Can we capitalize? You gotta bear down here. Because whether you feel that same way or not, you're down pretty significantly. Your opponent's really closing in and you got a lot of work to do. 26 points. He needs 9. A lot of weight. You don't just want to go for the 1-9 combo here. As I said, I mean, as tempting as that would be to just be done with this game, why go to your next break shot, which is completely uncontrollable, as evidenced by all of my break shots in this match? If you clutch up and make that one ball, certainly now suddenly the table starts to open up for you. So you have to think about it that way sometimes. Be willing to take on that tougher shot to get more points. Take a bit of a tougher cut on this 3. Don't get greedy. I learned my lesson from that 6 ball earlier in the match. Look at my position window. You're basically coming thin off this 3 ball. You want to use this rail, come alongside this rail, and then bounce back down. Corner pocket should not come into play here if you hit this right. Yeah, see, I let it open up. I used a little bit outside. Certainly could have used more outside. And we get a little funny on the 4, it kind of straight in. But you can still work with this. Yeah, I tried to go full into the 4 with a little bit of an angle to draw back out and behind the 5. Kind of greedy. I think probably the play would have been to punch up to the other side of the 5 ball. But we're going to clutch up and make this in the side pocket, right? Yeah. Side pockets are there. You're allowed to use them. Guaranteed position on the 7. 7 is basically guaranteed to send you to the 8. We're starting to level out here in terms of just fundamentals and mindset. That's good. That's looking good. Big pocket. If you want to use the 9 ball, you can. Didn't really need to use the 9 ball here, but it's nice to have as insurance. Yeah, we'll just nudge it in. That's fine. Don't rush this. Don't get tackled by your teammate. High outside. Don't complicate it. Don't get fancy. You know, you can make this 9 ball from anywhere. All right, we got some points. Amazing. They said it couldn't be done. Up to 49. There's a good break. Good cue ball. Do we get rewarded? Probably not. There's no way. Yes and no. I think I remember the situation here. Yeah, nothing easy, right? Tough cut on the 1, but if you make the 1, you're going to get a look at the 2. Want to look at it. I don't like how it feels. Made it. Whew. I didn't like it. I don't know. Looking at it now, I was like, there's no way. Oh, dude, run this one out. That'd be great. I don't remember how this rack goes. I remembered a lot of the other stuff. More than I thought I would. So you want to kind of low outside, draw off this one. You might play into the 4. If you hit the 4, then you play the 3 in the corner. If you get past the 4, you play the 3 in the side. Ideally, you want to be on the 3 in the side. Yeah, that's kind of your window. Okay, played that well. Oh, we mucked up the 4 ball. Get down below the 4. It looks like it goes in the side. Yeah, a little bit of a snip. So these have been on and off throughout the night, right? These side pockets. I remember this shot, though. If you get greedy, try to play into the 7. It bobbles out. Heartbreaker. But that was the result of me trying to get too much out of that 4 ball and nudge the 7 out. I think I was worried about going with high inside, trying to get up above the 7, or ending up, if you just purely cut the 4, you're going to end up kind of on top of the 7. Having it on the rail is complicated. So, tough one. Getting safe here is a good option. Like, overcut the 4 down to the bottom rail. You could try to bank this. Looks like he's lining up a bank, potentially. If this cooperates, there's a good chance you get a look at the 7. Yeah, he's attacking it. Nicely played. With the payoff. These points hurt. Edging ever closer. To his credit, though, I mean, I left him pretty bad, and he's making good use of it. There's no quitting this guy. Oh my goodness. Got hooked. Man. It was kind of a tricky spot. I think with that 7 ball, I'd go low outside. And it looked like he kind of went a high ball through it. I'd just go low outside, I think, and sort of spin off it, then come across table and back over. Oh, he might have an edge on the 8. Almost enough to make it. Oh, scratch too. Okay. You hate to see it, you love to see it. So another one where you can go anywhere you want with the 8, except probably the pocket down by the 9. But I like to go into the side pocket by the 9 ball and be rolling towards, send the cue ball rolling towards my target window for the 9. Overplay this one, though. It definitely rushed it, too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling it now, guys. It's crazy pressure. I mean, he needs 7 points. I need, what is it, 11 now? This 9 ball brings us down to 9 points, though. It's good and smooth. Cut that in. Okay. Oh, I must have missed a point or something. I need 8. Tough one. Look at this. Dry break with an open look at the 1. Scorekeeper guy moves. We'll see it again. Tough one. It might go. But if you ease this in, you're not going to get, you'll get a look at the 2, but not a good line on it. A little parade coming through. He's going to try to make it. Scorekeeper guy got up while he was down on the ball. Oh, shot it into the rail. All right, dude. Get your points. So back cut on the 1. Cue ball's going to track towards the 3. Ideally, you want to be on the left side of the table so you can get a line on the 2. Rolling through it. Get hooked behind the 4 of all places. Not really a great option to come into this rail and hit the 2. The scratch is on. If you come a little too deep into it, you could theoretically scratch. This is a weird spot. In this case, it doesn't look like I'm using the one rail kick system that I've demonstrated in the match. I think I'm just counting diamonds. I think I'm just splitting diamonds here. This is a makeable ball. You can go for rail first. Then it sends you towards the 3. I hit that pretty good. Don't sell out the 2. Ah, come on. It would have been nice to get a roll there. Leave the 2 behind the 8. All right, well, we made one ball. Hooked myself. Okay. Drifts off the 2. And he's behind the 4. All right, scorekeeper guy. Camera awareness. There we go. So he wants to kick at this 3 ball. Ball's timeout here, I seem to remember. He's got someone from his team who helps him line up these kick shots. So they're basically doing the one rail kick with a partner. So what they, yeah, they'll like line it up to where you want to be hitting the ball, not just the center of the ball. Out to the rail, and then he is aiming at her fingers, where her fingers are on the cue. And then once he's got his aim down, she has to move away from the table. She can't stay there. So they make a good hit. I mean, it's a system that works, but I'm back on the table and I've got a really good look at the 3, 4, 5, and the 6, 9's not wired, but close enough. For the record, that kicking system is good. I think it's a good way to learn how kicking works and to demonstrate kicking and to help people build confidence with their own kicking game and like all that good stuff. There's a lot of good that can come out of that. I think at a certain point, you got to learn how to do that for yourself. As much as this is a team format, you got to be able to play your own game. I don't truly take issue with it, right? Like, do what works, and we have teams for a reason, timeouts for a reason. And also, we've seen that John can kick. Like he's kicking at balls and he knows the systems himself. So yeah, bit of a split. I have a bit of a split perspective on that. Maybe a hot take. Meanwhile, we're getting down to the 6-9, which is good for points. It would have been great to be able to clear the table totally, right? If it weren't a 6-9 combination and we could get the remaining balls that we need here. But coming down to the wire, you got to take what's in front of you. Don't relax on this 6-9. Don't take it for granted. It was a bit of a cut. Okay. We need 2 balls, and he needs 6. Here's where you have a dry break. Nope, I made the 1 ball. I don't know if I was fully consciously aware of the score at this point. This is a funky 2 ball. And I have a bad history with these shots. I really do need to put this on the table at home and practice these more often. These just bug me out. I get scared of these. Yeah, look, I'm not comfortable. I'm trying to like fix my face and I'm taking breaths and I'm stroking while standing. I gotta work on these. I know that you gotta shoot them in too. I didn't want to try to roll it in. Look how bad I missed that one. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Oh. Okay. We need 1 point. I didn't update the score. I think I'm just off, like, trying to decompress off on the side. No great offensive option here. I think you just go safe. I think you go off the bottom side of the 2-ball and send the cue down table. You can go either or, right? Play the cue ball or play the object ball, but I think really you're just trying to get the object ball behind the 7 is nice. Okay. This works. It's a hittable 2-ball, but hard to make it go somewhere. He can kind of spin in behind this. That's what I like. Just go 1 rail at it. Could kick it in the side, I guess, if he's got enough behind the 7. Oh no, he did have an edge. All right, he had an edge. Nothing easy. I've looked at this one a bunch. And you can cut this in. I think if I had taken extra time, just look at the edge of the ball. You know this is a makeable ball. The scratch is not on. Just cut this in and be done with it, right? I look at the bank, which to finish it out that way would be great, but it's risky, man. Doesn't miss by much. He's got a cut on the 2, and his cut game's been on. Yeah, he's got to attack here. And cut on the 2. I'd be comfortable with a little bit of inside. I think he puts him inside on that. You got to roll. Man, he could have ended up on top of that 3-ball. Needs 5. You just send the 3-ball into the 6 here. Got enough room behind the 5. Nice easy touch on this. He's elevating a little bit, which is kind of surprising, but oh boy. I think he's on the back side of the 3. He might be able to still cut it in. Shape on the 4 is pretty rough. Make the 3 and just go short side on the 4. Oh, he double kissed it in. He looked up. I remember that moment. He looked up from it and he was like, "How did that go?" I was like, "You double kissed it in." This is not a great position, but it is still a makeable position. You'd hate to have to go safe from here, but I mean, there's options. He's gonna try to make it though. Yeah, he tried to like slow roll it up. Oh, look at this. Good 2-way, I guess, right? You missed the 4 and you're gonna kind of be behind that cluster. Meanwhile, in the back, the Roomba was set loose at this point. It was an interesting choice while league's happening. All right, scorekeeper guy moves. We'll see the layout again. The kick on the 4. I'm looking at the backside of the 4-ball here, and coming in rail first is dangerous. If you come in too thin on the backside, you can scratch. Come in too thin on the other side, you could theoretically scratch too, because you're going to be spinning it. It is hittable. It's very hittable behind the 9. And I made the decision to go behind the 9 because my one rail kicks had not been on that night, and this was too important of a situation to try to trust something that hadn't been working. So I felt like the better choice was to go for a more solid hit. Oh, yep, there's the Roomba. There's a... Yeah, he put it up on the table because it was bothering people. We got to go for this. You got to go for making it. I'm full into it with a little bit of spin. It's awkward. No! Ah. I know the scratch is on there, but oh, that hurts. He needs 3 at this point. Ball in hand for a 3-ball out. Yeah, there we go. 64. He needs, yeah, he needs 3. That's right. Looking at the score. 5 to the 7. There's options. You know, you spin around the direction of the 9 and play the 7 down here, or you come off the back side of the 5. Ooh, that's a weird line. Come off the backs. I'm doing it again. Off the back side of the 5, like up here. Not easy to get there, but there are options for it. He's a little funky. I think I would still try to draw, maybe come across this way. He's going to get hooked behind the 9. He needs 1 ball. We both need 1. And he's hooked behind the 9. And at this point, you think my eyes would light up and I'd be like, yay, like a cool thing's going to happen. Like maybe he'll give me ball in hand and I can stop playing this game. But he calls a timeout. And my spirits sink because the system works for them. And they're going to be able to... He kind of indicates that maybe he wants to try to bank it down there, but realistically, you just want to make a full hit on this, coming into it from the backside. So they deliberate a little bit about how they want to hit the 7. But my spirit sinks a little bit because I have seen that this system works for them. If he makes a good hit, who knows where the 7 ends up? Chance of making it. Dead center of the pocket, man, for the win. Yeah. Yep. That's how it went down. Tough one, guys. There's a lot of good stuff in there. You know, like I played well. Had some good outs. It's tough. It's frustrating to have a night like that where silly rolls end up swinging things so dramatically against you. But big picture, what I've come away from that match with in the last few weeks, it's like, that's whatever. Like, you have to learn how to let that stuff go. Focus on what's working. Work on what's not working. And just improve where you can. So, a lot to learn from that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Can't win them all, as some of you will remind me. And you can't get too hung up about that, right? Just improve little by little, and you're gonna eventually win more than you lose. So yeah, thanks for being here for this. There's more to come, and then actually next weekend is gonna be Masters again, so I'm gonna get a couple matches out of that as well. So yeah, thanks again for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.